Hi there, Save with Crypto here. Okay, so X Launchpad is part of the MultiversX ecosystem. The idea is projects launch on that. And so far, they've all been pretty disappointing, to be honest. And there's this really kind of complex way how you get to buy the stuff, because if you are staking EGLD on the XPortal app, then that entitles you to get some allocation for these things called lottery tickets. Okay, now you don't actually win the lottery like you would normally win the lottery, but I'll explain that in a moment. The other way to get the lottery tickets is to have XMEX. Now, XMEX is this kind of token that seems to be quite useless, that we seem to have been producing for years now, and it's all locked up for like 4 years, and nobody's quite sure why they've got it and how they're going to get rid of it. But one thing it does do is entitle you to these lottery tickets. Now, the lottery tickets, what they are is tickets that you buy with EGLD, and then if you win a lottery ticket, that means you can then swap that lottery ticket for some of the token. So in theory, you get it at the cheaper price. Okay. Now, this was the most recent one. It was called PELL. I did briefly look at what it was all about, didn't really understand it, so I wasn't particularly interested. So let's have a quick look at what I said back in January. Okay, so I'm not particularly excited about this. These things don't seem to do particularly well in my experience, and seems like quite a lot of messing around you have to do to get the lottery tickets. My only thinking is that one day there will be one that's amazing and will make loads of money, but so far that hasn't really happened. Now, the important thing about this, if you look here, price per token, right, 0.0238 USD, so about 2.4 cents, okay, per PELL. Okay, now I became interested in this today because it listed on ByBit, and I actually just closed a Bitcoin trade where I made about $130. And I thought, I'll have a look at PELL. If it's cheaper than the price you could have got it with all this messing about, then I might buy a little bit. So I did. And the price I bought it for was $0.00956. So about 0.9 of a cent. So less than half the price I could have got it for doing all the nonsense with the lottery tickets. So I think that's me and X Launchpad done. I'm not going to go there again because it's just too much messing about, waste of time. Actually, I noticed I did actually buy a little bit more than I intended to do. Actually, I actually bought $274 worth, and the price has even come down a little bit more since I did. Okay, this is looking pretty bad, but not as bad as the actual sentiment on the X Launchpad Telegram group. Everyone is so pissed off. Okay, well, this is good for keeping the price down. So once all this lot have sold, the price will go up a little bit. I'm not going to hang on to it forever, though. I might just, if it does a 2x, I might sell half, and then I've got a moon bag, haven't I? Maybe that's what I'll do. But really, honestly, everything that's been on X Launchpad so far has died a death, so I'm not expecting too much. Anyway, so that's me and X Launchpad done. If you've got any comments about that, leave them in the comments. And actually, the more I think about it, this whole MultiversX thing, that I was so keen on back in November 2021 when they brought out the DEX, the new DEX, the whatever it's called. Was it X Exchange? I think it was back then, wasn't it? I was so excited about it all. And I thought when the XMEX started unlocking, that will be like, my pension, if you like, and I'm just not sure it is now. I think ever since they brought out this version 3 of the DEX, I've just kind of lost interest, really, because I just can't see any reason why any normal person would come across here, and look at all these tokens and think, what the bloody hell are they? It's just a load of nonsense, isn't it? That they can swap for other nonsense on a blockchain that nobody uses. So if you want to do stuff like with this and somewhere else, you have to look at like bridges and things like that to get it onto a chain that everyone else uses, So I can't imagine MultiversX ever being anything like, say, for example, Solana is. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the market cap, the fully diluted market cap of EGLD is now about $500 million. That is bloody awful. That is really bad. This was like top 100 or pretty much like around the 100 crypto. I think it's nowhere to be seen now. So I don't know if it gets back to like $20 or $30, maybe a bit higher. I'm thinking of leaving the whole thing. And I know that's a really sad thing because a lot of people come to this channel because of the MultiversX stuff, the EGLD stuff. There's a lot of people from the old MyRDEX days and Elrond, but I just can't see a future for it. I mean, they got that guy Adam Bates in to sort of try and save the company. You don't hear anything from him anymore. At least I don't think you do. Let's have a look on X. Okay, so he's here talking about some partners, Lightning Box Protocol integration partner. Okay, don't know what that means. All this stuff like, 500 million transactions. Nobody gives a toss if nobody uses it, 70,000 lines of old school hardcore coding. So what? If no one uses it, it doesn't matter. I do think the end of EGLD and me, our relationship, is near. The only thing I've got at the moment is some EGLD staked in Hatton Protocol, and I've got this deprecated farm here that's worth $3,500 apparently, and this produces XMEX that starts unlocking sometime in the future. The first lot being available, actually, it's a tiny bit this year in September, and then after that we're looking at October 2027. I mean, at one point this balance used to say $300,000, but to be fair, a lot of that was the LKMEX token that only had a theoretical value because that was the value it was supposed to be if it was unlocked, and it wasn't possible to unlock it at that point because LKMEX was unlockable until certain dates, unlike the XMEX now, which is unlockable at any date, but you pay a penalty for it. Nevertheless, I will continue to do some MultiversX videos. I'm not sure as I'm going to do them weekly now because there's nothing to talk about. You're just talking about something that's slowly dying. So yeah, I'm pretty negative about the whole of MultiversX, to be honest, which is quite sad. And if you've got any comments, then please leave them in the comments down below. While you're down there, do give the video a big fat like. Make sure you are subscribed, and above all, tell your friends.
Save with Crypto has to be one of the best YouTube channels that the United States has ever seen. Kamala Harris is not a subscriber, but I am. I have notifications set to all as well. I'd strongly suggest you subscribe to Save with Crypto today. Above all, you should tell your friends.
Save with Crypto is not a financial advisor. He just makes ice cream on the internet. If you cannot find someone to do your own research, you must do it yourself, just like I did not.